got some other people trailing in, but I think we'll get on started so that we are starting right on time. So just for some quick introductions, my name is John Victoria. I am the owner of Polianna, and we focus on helping HVAC entrepreneurs take their online marketing to the next level. And this is my good friend, Chris Livingston. A quick context, we had met in a business retreat in Miami, right? This is a few months back.
That was a good time.
Yeah, good time. And also another good friend, Logan, who is owner of CGN, good buddy. And yeah, if you wanted to talk more about CGN, Chris, the floor is yours.
Well, what it is, it's a marketing, sales. We recognize that so many people forget the overall goal of marketing is sales, right? And they work hand in hand. So oftentimes I utilize the analogy that marketing and sales are like the game of golf, right? So marketing is like your big shot off the tee, and sales is like putting it in, right? So the more effective your marketing is on that fairway, it's closer to the green, and then sales is like putting it in, makes it a lot easier for you. So we are very much a marketing and sales company. We're probably sales first. We have different sales trainings that we do and things like that, but we recognize that the overall goal of marketing is to make sales superfluous or not even necessary, right? So you're just order taking at that point. So some people think they're really great at sales when they're dealing with only with past customers or referrals, but that's really not necessarily means you're great at sales. That means that you're really good at order taking. So we talk about a lot about that. It's very much about like, where are you right now? Where do you want to go? And like, what's stopping you from getting there? And we have problem solving to be able to get solutions for that. So that's kind of all what CGN is. We work exclusively with residential contractors. So it's awesome stuff.
That's awesome. And, I see a lot of great case studies of people coming into the program, a lot of people who might have initially been working with a lot of tire kickers, and you like finagling them and finally getting them to see like straight on how to approach their business. And so, yeah, I think everyone would love as well, just like hear any like quick success stories, because I think it's huge. What you guys are doing, a lot of digital marketing companies can't do it because they aren't willing to step into that aspect of the business. And so, if you had anything, that'd be awesome too.
Well, I mean, to be very candid with you, like we're turning the industry on its head because we do not give a crap at all about leads. All right. It's not about leads. It's 2021. The game is not leads anymore. The game is pre-qualified leads. And by that, I mean, people that understand your value, people that are willing to follow your process and are willing to go forward at your price. Right. So a lot of people do a lot of stuff to get leads, but a lot of times those leads are just people that you're going to run out to their home, give them an estimate, and then they're going to turn to the witness protection program because they're going to go, ghost on you because the money is way too high, right? Or you're dealing with people who are trying to buck the system and do their own process and things like that. So we understand that pre-qualification is so important, especially in 2021. And like we have I don't even know if anybody else has this in our space, but we have a money back guarantee. Like we legitimately have 100% success rate, which is pretty awesome. So if you don't make $100,000 or more using our system in the first 12 months, then you get your money back. So it's a pretty cool thing because we kind of pre-qualify ourselves of who we work with, right? But it is awesome to be able to see how homeowners are being retrained how to buy from contractors. And we service contractors, but our job is very much in the idea of showing them how to retrain their homeowners so they can buy from them in a more effective way. So I absolutely love it. We don't go out to people's houses unless you're picking up a deposit check or consultation fee. So it's awesome.
Love it, Chris. And like you said, you're turning the industry on the head. And that's why, I thought that, you'd be a great guest for our HVAC business growth series, because what we're talking about today with generating reviews, this is a part of a bigger picture. And so, as with these business growth seminars, we can't encompass everything, but just wanted to introduce everyone to Chris because he is amazing and is really transforming things. And so just to set the context for today, if you haven't seen the posts about this webinar, this is targeted for HVAC owners. And right now, I'm going to empathize with a lot of you. It's busy season right now. It's crazy, especially, if, a lot of people's ACs are breaking down, then new installs or repairs. It's craziness. And, a majority of business is done during the summertime for a lot of HVAC contractors. And so by you being on this webinar or you're watching the replay, I know that you're making an investment in time, because I know it's, you don't just want to attend another webinar, but you want to make the most of the time here. So I love what Chris has said. Go ahead, sirs.
Can I make a comment on that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is not meant to be harsh, mean at all, but this is being real. All right. I do quite a few webinars. I, do a lot of speaking events and things like that. And what I recognize is that my name is not Kevin Hart. My name is not, Eddie Murphy. The reality is I am not an entertainer. And that is something that I think is very important. All right. So if you listen to this stuff and you hear it and you do not implement it, then you simply were just entertained. And I'm not here to do that for anyone. I am not an entertainer. The difference between being entertained and being educated is implementation. So to be straight up with you, if you're not taking notes on this, if you're not catching the replay, if you're not doing the things that are actually being told to you today, then you're just simply wasting your time, and you should go watch something else on TV, go watch Netflix because you want to be entertained. This is not here to entertain you. I know that may come off as harsh, but it's a reality we deal with oftentimes. People see the light and says, oh, that sounds great, but they don't actually implement the actual things they're being told, so they don't become better in their situation.
Love that. And that applies completely to what we're doing today, because, it's so relevant. Reviews right now for the HVAC contractor, this is where you're getting a majority of your work. And if you can leverage that work, that's going to benefit you, not just during the summer, but with your Google rankings and the slower times. And it's really, things are going to snowball for you. And so as we're introducing this webinar, I did want to share a few stats with everyone so you can kind of set the context for why reviews are so important. And so I have it on my phone. I'll read it off. So the first stat I want to read you is that buyers require an average of 40 online reviews before believing a business's star rating is accurate. Stat number 2, 85% of consumers think that online reviews older than 3 months aren't relevant. Stat number 3, 86% of consumers read reviews for local businesses, including 95% of people aged 18 to 34. And number 4, 77% of customers are willing to leave a review if asked. And so the key takeaways from these stats is that, I like to call it a triad. Your reviews are so important. If you have the right number of reviews, you have the recency in your reviews, and you have the right star rating, and the way it's written, that can prove to be an asset to your business. Because if you've even been in business for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you have like 4 or 5 reviews, it's just, there's some sort of a disconnect here. And so that's what we're trying to help you get over, because, a lot of people are like, oh, it's the online marketing stuff, but no, this is the thing that's going to help move your business to the next level. And I don't know if you want to hop in real quick, Chris, if you wanted to talk on stats, but if not, we'll hop into the agenda.
Well, and I think just to kind of piggyback off of that, it's so important to recognize that you are shooting yourself in the foot if you're not getting reviews. All right. You should not be doing all the selling yourself. Let your past customers, there's so much juice left in the squeeze. You should have repeat customers. You should leverage past customer for new customers. You should be doing all those things. All right. So it is, at this point, it's just silly to not be in a space where you are prioritizing having your reviews. All right. We'll go through a lot of different tactics today on exactly how that can happen, but I've always hear from people, oh, I know I need reviews, but I just don't get them done. All right, well, today you guys are going to learn some very tactical and practical things you can do to make sure that you actually are getting reviews. But before that actually happens, understand the actual value that reviews have for your company. That if you are not doing it, you're falling behind. You're letting somebody out there who is proactive and says, I'm going to get reviews on a consistent basis, get in front of your customers and say, this person has a system, they have a process, and they're going to answer the questions that I, as a consumer, want to have answered.
Love that, Chris. And just to set the context for today, so the agenda of what we're going to talk about, number 1, we're going to talk about the importance of reviews, which we've already hinted at. Number 2, we're going to talk about what we like to call a transformational review and how that's different than your normal review, which is what most people will get. Number 3, key points of the review process. So what are the key points where you might need to seed the review in order to get an effective one later on? Number 4, we're going to go through some scripts and even some role plays of how to ask for a review. And number 5, how do you get buy-in? Because it's not just necessarily going to be you, but you're going to have a team as well. Your team of technicians, they're going to be the ones that are going to be speaking to customers. So how do you get buy-in from them? And then lastly, at the end, for those that stay on, again, that's going to be the $10 Amazon gift card at the end. So before we hop into the agenda for today, I just want to quickly ask the audience, how many people have left a review before? Yep, everyone should have left a review at some point. Yep. And question, so when's the last time you might have used a review to help you make a purchase or a buying decision?
Yesterday when I was buying fans.
Yep.
Every day before every purchase, I think a review is very important.
Yep. And I just bought this gimbal and I just looked at the reviews. And so everyone is using reviews to help, make an informed decision. And so again, why are you here? Reviews are going to be so critical to your business. We're here to be educated, not entertained. And this is part of you building the type of business that you want and making it easier, reducing the friction towards the sale. And so, Chris, if I were to ask you, so why so let's say I'm a disbeliever, right? I don't believe that reviews are that important. So, Chris, why should I even bother with something like this?
Okay. So what I would do is I want you to take, first of all, you have to have sometimes when people get into these contractor spaces, they are really good tradesmen, really good tradeswomen, but they fail to realize they have to also be business forward. And by that, I mean, understanding things like this, asking themselves, they may not be physically lazy, but sometimes they are mentally lazy. They don't ask themselves this question. All right. If I surveyed 10 of my most recent clients, what would they say they liked about me? All right. What would they say they liked about me? And then they go on speeds and say, oh, well, I'm trustworthy. They like my process. Had clear communication. I was, walked them through every step of the way. They felt like they were comfortable enough to have me in their home. All right. And then I ask the question, I say, well, with your online marketing, like where does it say that? How can I see that from your online presence? All right. So one thing that also this is just a caveat that grinds my gears so much when I see contractors' websites and things like that, or contractors' marketing, it's simply like this. Here at X, Y, and Z company, we do this. We provide expert this. We do luxury this. We provide this for you. Our mission is to do this. The whole time it's we. The hero of the story is the contractor. All right. And sadly, when people hop on your website, hop on your marketing, hear about you, they really don't care about you. They care more about, can you solve my problem? All right. So you beating yourself over your own chest does not help you at all. It actually hurts you. So when you're able to get reviews where people are able to give a third party scenario of what's like working with you, it builds trust in your customers. And we all understand the idea of know, like, and trust. All right. And there's two more for that, challenge and convert, but know, like, and trust is so important. So if I have reviews that are consistently saying the things that I provide to customers that answer their questions. Oh, when I was buying this fan the other day, the reviews talked about how much light it was putting it off. Was the fan noisy? Was it able to take care of the room that it was described for? Those are all questions that I had. Now, if I bought this fan without looking at the reviews, those are still questions that I would have, and those questions would not be answered for me unless I actually purchased the fan. All right. And when I cannot have those questions answered, I build anxiety in my customers. A customer, let's be straight up with it. All right. So if you guys are taking down notes, there's 3 things that every single customer asks themselves when they're buying anything in any industry. All right. And I'm willing to die on this. So I'm willing to have anyone challenge me on this. But there's 3 questions people want to have answered. All right. The first question is, can you solve my problem? Can you solve my problem? All right. That's both surface level and deep. All right. So imagine if someone is in an HVAC situation. Can you solve my problem? Can you actually give me heating and air? That's the surface level. Maybe the deep problem is, can you prevent me that? Can I get peace of mind that my home is going to be able to be warm in the winter months? I have an elderly, person in my home as well. Is it going to stay on for them? Am I going to be able to keep my child comfortable and safe? All right. So that's the deeper level problem. Can I have peace of mind? So can you solve my problem? That's number one. Number two is, how does it work / the timeline? All right. How does it work? What's it like working with you? What's the timeline of doing these things? All right. How do I drive this truck? Does it have all the bells and whistles that I want? All right. So all those things in this world, can you solve my problem? How does it work / the timeline? And the third thing is, how much does it cost? All right. And what happens is, when you don't answer all three of those questions, you build up anxiety in your customers because they're fiending to want those questions answered. And if they don't find it from you, they're going to find it from someone else. Because most of us really don't care about things like price and stuff like that. Even though people believe we all care about price so much, what we really care about is being taken advantage of. So what needs to happen is, when you have reviews, they're able to tell the story from a third-party, unbiased source to answer the questions that people have about you. And if you're not prioritizing reviews, what you're doing is you're dropping the ball on answering those questions, and you're producing anxiety in your customers' buying experience. Does that help answer the question?
Love that, Chris. And I love what you're saying about you're just building anxiety for your customer, because there's these unresolved loops in a customer's mind. And if you just don't resolve it, they just will have this uneasy feeling when they don't know why they feel uncomfortable. It's just because you haven't solved a number of these problems. And so I guess transitioning, because you do have a special term, a transformational review. So, you've mentioned about reviews just previously, but how does a normal review that someone posts up, someone says, hey, Chris did a great job on my AC. Like, how does that differ from what you're talking about, like this transformational review? And how does that make an impact on a potential customer?
Okay. So you cool if I kind of give you like the genesis of it all? Okay. People forget value. All right. They forget what value is. And they also forget that there's 4 stages of value. All right. There are 4 stages of value. I'm not sure who's typing in the comment box, but this is stuff that's worth writing down. All right. The first stage of value is a commodity. All right. That is, everything's the same. So that's corn, that's cotton, that's, sugar, that's coffee beans. All right. In my world, that's a marketing company. That's a sales company. In your world, that's a contractor. So we have to go well past that first stage of value. The second stage of value is a product or service. All right. It's a product or service. In my world, once again, maybe that's a website. Maybe that's an ad. Maybe that's a blog. In your world, maybe that's an AC. Maybe that's a filter. Maybe that's Freon. All right. So let's think about that for a second. That's not the value that we provide to people. All right. We have to keep going well past that. The third stage of value is an experience. Now, most people, if you ask them what value they provide, they stop here at either the 2 or the 3. All right. The 3, which is the experience, that's, okay, imagine this. We all love the Mercedes experience. We all love the Tiffany's experience, but that's not why we buy. It's not why we buy a new Mercedes, because we love the experience of the dealership. All right, many people talk about, they give great customer service or clear communication. All right, that's just the experience, and you can go well past that to the 4th stage of value. The 4th stage of value, where we need to be on a consistent basis, is the transformation. How you're able to transform someone else's life. How, before working with me, I was dealing with this problem, and after working with me, I've been able to transform the situation. I have peace of mind now. I'm able to spend more time in my living room. I don't have to worry about it being too cold. I don't have to worry about having all these blankets or having a heating problem. I have peace of mind. How am I able to transform someone else's life? So that's the value that you guys provide. So if you stop at level 2, that I'm an HVAC company and we provide HVAC, or, I have awesome experience, then I'm really dropping the ball on my actual value. All right. So those 4 stages of value then go, as you got somebody here that wants to get in. I'm not sure if that's something that I need to do or you do. Got it?
Don't worry about it.
So, but yeah, so transitioning now to a transformational review. All right. You talked about it a little bit. And I challenge the guys right now in the comment box. When you see a review that says, hey, awesome gimbal, worked for me, or great fan, great quality, or whatever else someone else is purchasing, those reviews don't answer those questions that I just talked about previously. So if you want a quick layout of a transformational view, this is what it looks like. All right. First and foremost, we want to talk about what was happening before working with you. What problem did I have that you were able to solve? Example, before calling John, we were dealing with a leaky AC situation. It seemed to be every single year we were having to have somebody come out here and take a look at our AC, our setup, and we could never get an answer to exactly what was going on. I feel as if I was wasting money every single year, throwing money at a problem that never seemed to be able to get fixed. All right. What was I dealing with before working with you? Then you want to transition to what was it like working with you? John came in, he was super professional. He showed up on time and he told us exactly, walked us through the whole process. I felt very trustworthy the whole time working with him. And then lastly, how they're planning on utilizing this once John's gone, or how things have been going for him. So, so I'm super excited now to be able to have an AC that works without any headache going forward. So what I just did there, we talked about 3 different steps. What was it like? What was the problem in the beginning? What was it like working with you? And how they're experiencing the situation post working with you, what it looks like for them. That's a transformational review. Speaking on the idea of transformation, this is also important. Does anybody here ever have issues with people paying their prices? People ever harp on paying their prices?
Yeah, definitely face that for sure.
Anybody else in the comments at all? Anybody else have issues with people paying their prices? Any people ever, harping on paying for their prices? Okay. Let me guys give you a quick scenario. Anytime someone is thinking about what they're giving up when working with you, that's a transactional sale. All right, let me repeat that. Anytime someone's thinking about what they're giving up the money, giving up the time, when that's at the forefront of their mind when working with you, that's a transactional sale. All right. And we need to do everything in our power to get away from transactional sales. When people are thinking about everything that they're gaining, if that's at the forefront of their mind, everything they're gaining, that's a transformational sale. If they're thinking about this new, cool home, this new home that is heat and air taken care of, like that's the value that they're thinking of. That's a transformational sale. So if you're getting people who are harping on you about the price, it's because they're still in the transaction mindset. They're only thinking about, or the biggest pain they're dealing with right now in their forefront of their mind is what they're giving up. So we have to go to a transformation. So a transformational review allows for that to happen for people. They can understand that when I go forward and spend $18,000 on something, $10,000 on something, $5,000 on something, it's not just the $5,000. That's my ticket to be able to get to where I want to go.
Love that. And just to clarify, so, I'm working through this in my mind as well. So, let's say that I have a family and my AC breaks down. I guess, I guess the transactional part is that I want a new AC and I want a good contractor, but the transformation is that at the end of the day, like I just want to be a good father or a good provider, and I need to take care of my family in this home. Would that be an example of like is that like identity-based things, or the identity-based things transformational, or just trying to work through it?
That's 100% true, because you have to think about this. What's the actual motive? What's the actual motive? The motive is you want to be a good father and a good provider. That's your actual motive. But the vehicle to that is through maybe a HVAC contractor. So they don't care what the vehicle is. And that's what people fail to realize. When they talk about we, and we do all this stuff, they're failing to realize that people don't care. And that's not to be mean, but they don't really care about you. They care, can you solve my problem? So when you are doing those things and you're focusing on the real motive, both service level and deep, and you give a prompt to your customers to not just leave reviews that are just, shallow, very surface level, then we want to make sure that we're doing that in a very productive way, right? So it's so important to prompt your customers in an effective way and not make reviews an afterthought. All right, reviews should not be an afterthought in your business. They should be part of your process that is very strategic, and it is something that is so important to your business that you have to make sure that it's a priority.
I love that. And that's a nice transition. So, one of the things that, a contractor might be thinking of is, what is the logistics of me asking for these reviews? And so, I imagine there are key moments that it's like the time to either plant the seed or to ask for the reviews. And so I guess logistics wise, like how would that look like? And how does someone build this into the customer delivery process?
All right, straight up, let's ask this in a question. When do most people ask for reviews? If in the comment box right now, when do most people ask for reviews? All right. What happens is this. Most people, before getting something, right? So people feel as if the right way to do it is to ask for reviews at, at the end of the project, and becomes an afterthought. They forget to do it. And at this time, it's kind of weird. It's kind of icky, right? So there's a way to get beyond that. What we tell all of our clients is to do this. You should prioritize asking for reviews, and it should go a little bit like this. Hey, John, looks like we're looking to take care of your AC problem. When we come in and we're able to take care of every single thing you want and really knock this out of the park, would you be kind enough to leave us a review?
Yeah, if you guys do a good job, yeah, I'd be down.
Okay, so what I'm doing in the very beginning is I'm setting that seed in their mind. I'm being assumptive in saying, hey, we're going to knock this out of the park. We're going to take care of your needs. And I'm asking you right now, would you be kind enough to leave us a review? All right, so at this point, I've now vanguarded or got in front of, or a cushioning situation in the very beginning. So now when I come into the end and ask for the review, it's not a weird situation. And that looks a little bit like this. We're going to do the walkthrough, make sure they have understanding of what's going on. They have this and that and the third. You're going to say, hey, how'd you guys feel about the whole process? You guys feeling good? Great. All right, what's going to happen is it okay if I send you guys a review link to kind of leave us a review? Gotcha. Okay, and just curious, when do you think you'll be able to take care of that for us? Getting a timeline is important too. So what's happening is I want to get an understanding of when that person is going to leave that review for me, and they've already committed to doing it. We've already walked through the situation and they feel comfortable about everything. I ask them how they feel. I don't just leave them high and dry. And then I want to give them a prompt to leave a review. Make it easy on them. Do you have the script that we talk about how to leave reviews, or should I just kind of explain that?
Yeah, I'll share my screen right now just so everyone sees it. And if anyone wants this after the webinar, we'll be able to send this to you so you can see the scripts written out. And so, like Chris already said, this is the document word for word script for requesting transformational reviews. Scroll down. This is Chris. He mentioned earlier about planting the seed. So if we knock this out of the park for you, would you be kind enough to leave us a review? That's planting the seed in the beginning. And then afterwards, we have the script for after your technician completes the job. So yeah, here's the script for everyone.
Gotcha. Okay. So now this is super important. What we want to do, and this is my first time reading through this one, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that we make it very easy on the customer. All right. I'm asking them to do something for me. Anytime I want to ask anybody to do anything for me, I want to make it very easy on them. All right. So what I want to do is this. I want to ask them, hey, thanks so much for obliging to leave us a review. Do us a favor. Share with us what you guys were dealing with before working with us. 1, 2, tell us what it was like working with us. In parentheses, don't be afraid to be specific. And then 3, how you guys plan on enjoying your space long after we're gone. All right, so I like to make it really easy and just simply have, thanks so much for leaving us a review. In your review, we would love for you to, 1, tell us what it was like, tell us what you guys were dealing with before working with us. 2, how was the experience working with us? In parentheses, don't be afraid to be specific. And then 3, how do you guys plan on utilizing your space after we leave? And then have the link at the bottom and send it over to people. And you'll be surprised how much effort people put into reviews now. Now you have paragraph long reviews. Exactly, there it is right there. You have paragraph long reviews where people are able to give you that transformational review that actually drives the needle for your customers a lot more than just, yep, John did a great job, would recommend.
Absolutely love that. And again, for everyone who is on the webinar, on the replay, if you want to get this script, we have it in the form of a PDF, so we can hand that off to you. And so the way that you can use this is, number 1, you can use this as just a verbal script, but also number 2, we have some of the email scripts at the bottom where you can begin to automate some of these things. Where this is a template. You just replace your hey, customer first name. My name is blank. I'm the owner of this company. Thank you for trusting us to work on your systems. Want to follow up to ask for your feedback on our service today. But also remember that the technician has already mentioned this, and so they're not surprised when this email comes. They've already planted the seed. And so I'm not going to read through everything, but again, this is something that you can turn into an email. You can automate it. Once the job is completed, you can modify things in your CRM and it'll send off to them. And this can come in the form of an email. It can come in the form of also even a text, or even if you want to have one of your customer service representatives to give a call, that can be done as well. But it's the same basic framework as sending it out.
And this kind of comes to my mind. Like, you want me to give you guys a secret sauce about some stuff that people like? This just works for all of our clients. It's so simple.
Yeah. Love that.
Especially because heating and air has kind of a season behind it when people are kind of like hopping on certain stuff. This is super simple, and this is what you guys should be doing consistently. All right. Your past customers have a lot more juice in them than you give them credit for. All right. There's a lot more opportunity that your past customers have for you. So we tell all of our clients to do this. They do throughout the season. They normally do about 5 times, 5 names a day. Or if they have a certain time of the year where they're really dead, they're doing these people, they're giving people calls. And it looks like this. They're calling their past customer and they're saying, hey, John, this is Chris from X, Y, and Z company. Our season's about to start up and we're checking in with all of our past clients to make sure we haven't dropped the ball on anything. All right, so we're doing that. We're letting them know, hey, we're here. We're saying, so we have 3 objectives from this call. All right, I'm starting out that way, like, hey, our season's about to start up and we're about to get busy. We're making sure we haven't dropped the ball on anything. Just checking in with you real quick. So I'm staying top of mind. All right, so the first thing I can do is stay top of mind with that person. All right. Because the reality is most people are just don't think about it. They're looking for someone just to kind of be there to catch them when they want something, to spend more money on something, to solve their problem. All right. 2 is this. You're going to talk to them about, okay, I got you. How is that whatever treating you guys right now? They're going to talk to you about how good things are going. If there was an issue, you can be in front of it, and you can be the person they're going to take care of, who's going to call and take care of it because you actually called. If things are going great, they're going to be able to give that to you as well. All right. Once they go into how great things are happening, what you can now do is this. You can now prompt them to leave a review. Hey, great. Just curious, how'd you guys find us in the first place? They may tell you, oh, we saw you online or X, Y, and Z. We looked at reviews. Or even if they don't necessarily tell you reviews, okay, great. Can I ask you a favor? Reviews really do drive it for our business. And I'm glad you guys are having a good experience for this. If I sent you over a link, would you guys be kind enough to leave us just a review, kind of explaining how your process went? All right, so I'm calling my past customers and I'm letting them leverage and get more reviews as well. I use the same little link. Hey, thanks so much for allowing us to leaving us a review. Do us a favor, explain what you guys are dealing with before working with us, how it's like working with us, and how you guys are enjoying your situation now. That's a great opportunity to get more reviews to your consistently. And then lastly, this is a great opportunity to either get 1, more work, or 2, is there anybody else that you guys know of that would make sense for us to, to reach out to? So we help solve their problem as well. All right, so there's 3 opportunities right there. Stay top of mind, get a review, get more work. All right, so you should be contacting your past customers. You should not just let this CRM full of past clients just go to waste. You should be utilizing this because at the very least, even if it's just a review, like you talked about earlier, these common reviews that happened the last 3 months are so beneficial for your company. And if you have consistently people leaving these awesome reviews, oh yeah, I worked with these guys 6 months ago. I was dealing with X, Y, and Z. They came in and did ABC for me. I'm absolutely loving it. That's going to put the trust into someone else's heart that yes, this is the company that I can trust to come do it for me. Because if it's good enough for my neighbor, it's good enough for me.
Love that. I love that. And a quick tactic for everyone. If anyone's like wondering, oh, how am I going to get a review link? One helpful resource that I'm going to share with everyone is it's called plepper.com. And what you can do is you can go to find a review link generator. And what this will do is that it'll generate for you a link. And as soon as a customer clicks on it, it redirects to your Google My Business profile, and it can pre-fill the number of stars if it's a positive one. But it's just another way to simplify that entire process. So I'll put that in the chat, just a tactic that one can use. All right, so bring it back. So we are running a little over time, but one question I did want to ask you, Chris, is imagine like someone is running a big operation and they're now trying to get their technicians to buy in. So how do you you understand the importance of review, but how do you get your technicians to see the importance and to reinforce that as part of your culture and your process? Like, how would you begin to coach someone on that?
Gotcha. It starts with why. It starts with why it's so important. It starts with culture as well, making sure everybody knows the value of this, that this is actually not, the job is not done until we get a review. The job is not like in the very beginning of it, like let the process be heard, that the beginning of our process is we're going to ask for a review. We're going to make sure we knock it out of the park. We're going to find out our customers why. We're going to find out what the motive is so we can best take care of them. And then at the end, we're going to be able to do this and give out reviews. Many techs still have some commission to them. I mean, a lot of our clients who have that same situation, what happens is if they do have commission, their commission is not fully compensated unless there is an opportunity there for a review. All right. So, hey, you guys can get the full 100% compensation. That's it with the review. And it's going to be, 80% if it's not. So however that looks like, idea is not to hurt people. It's to make this important. Mm-hmm. All right. So if you prioritize, then people also will prioritize this as well. This is the lifeblood of your company. And if you recognize that as such, then you will say, you know what, this idea of hardly ever getting reviews, I saw someone said hardly ever getting reviews or after the job, well, that's going to change if you recognize how important this is for your company. And if you're able to instill that into your company by either having processes, not necessarily consequences, but like benefits of actually getting reviews, then you'll be able to take care of your customers as well.
I love that. And I've seen that as well. Incentivizing, or even gamifying the process of getting reviews. Let's say you have a team of 5 techs, whoever gets the most amount of reviews in this quarter or this month gets X. It could be a gift card. It could be a nice dinner out, a really nice bottle of alcohol. I don't know, something that just like gamifies the entire process and makes it fun as well.
And just think about this too. Like people have this whole head trash around like, oh, well, I don't want to give incentives for people just doing the right thing. Well, the reality is like, even if you had a $500 situation for that, think about your average job size, and getting these reviews from people are going to bring in infinitely more than this $500. And if you really want to get into it, just put $500 more on your top line whenever you're charging for this stuff, and then you're able to take care of that way. So like make it happen. Like be business minded, make it happen, and don't have any more excuses or reason why you don't have reviews and taking care of your customers.
Love it. Awesome. So we are a little bit over time, everyone. So we won't be able to get to the automation part of today, but I did want to open it up for questions. So if anyone has any questions for Chris on reviews, feel free to drop that in the chat. And if not, I will be setting up the giveaway. Since we have 9 people on, I will begin to add y'all to the list and begin to spin the name of wheels. So yeah, drop any questions.
Yeah, and please ask the questions. I do everything from sales. I do everything from marketing. I feel very, very like have so many clients that are killing it right now, that are doing things that other people think that they can't do. As far as like, none of our clients go out to people's houses unless they're getting consultation fees or deposits and things like that. So ask any question you guys have. Oh, great, that's a good question. What would you do if people say no to reviews? Okay, that's why we ask them in that certain way. All right, I want to say, would you be kind enough to leave us a review? If the thing is if you ask for a review and it's only self-serving, then yes, you may get the 1, 2, 3 blue moon person who's not going to leave you a review. All right. But the reality is, just because you have this head trash around someone not being able to leave you a review does not mean you should stop you from actually asking. All right. So in the very beginning, you want to position it that it's most beneficial for the customer. Hey, once we knock this out of the park for you, or if we knock this out of the park for you, how do you want to phrase it? Would you be kind enough to leave us a review? Who's going to say no to that? Oh, no, I'm not going to be kind enough to leave you a review. Like what's going on? Right. So we just talked about doing this exact same problem that you had. Like we're actually able to solve your problem. Would you do us enough to be able to do that? All right. Second question I see. This is a great opportunity. What happens when someone leaves you a negative review? All right. 2 things. 1, negative reviews are not bad. That's probably going to be, whew, that's crazy, right? Negative reviews, they make you seem human. All right. It's a great opportunity to use the yes and principle of, because a lot of times people who aren't even your customers will feel inclined to leave you a review. What I would say is if you ever respond to people's negative reviews, make sure it's tactful. It's not trying to belittle them at all. Just say, we unfortunately were, unable to take care of you, whatever it may be. Just get through it. All right. One tactic we tell a lot of our customers is anytime you get a negative review, or imagine you got a 1-star review, whatever it may be, you send out a campaign to your past customers. And the title of the campaign of the email says, "We finally did it. We finally did it. We finally got our first 1-star review. We love helping out customers just like you guys and giving awesome customer service. And we recognize how valuable reviews are. But through the process, it looks like we slipped through the cracks, and we had one person who actually did not think of us as highly as you guys do. To be able to counteract this, would you guys be kind enough to leave us a positive review so people know what kind of company, or to kind of highlight your own experience working with us? All right, make it a positive. When someone leaves you a negative review, great. We finally did it. We're a human company. And reach out to the people who are your biggest advocates to leave you some reviews as well. How to filter out paid reviews. And what do you mean by that? So I can make sure I answer that question best. If you want to come off the mic and answer that question, but what do you mean? So how to filter out paid reviews?
And I might not be able to mute, but maybe the context around it is that sometimes businesses may pay other people to, to leave negative reviews on other people. It's like I don't agree with that tactic, but yeah, there's some businesses out there that will pay to get negative reviews on other companies that are in their space, kind of like, just to take them down.
I mean, that's just like kind of like one of those things where, I mean, there's no real answer behind that. Besides, I mean, if you want to answer, it's like, hey, John, unfortunately, we weren't able to work with you, but I'm curious as to as to this comment. I don't know. Like the reality is, I don't think about the negative stuff. I don't think about the what ifs in the sense of the negative what ifs, because I'm gonna have so many awesome reviews that they got to be paying a whole lot of money to have enough negative reviews where it actually makes a dent at all. And if people don't have a full experience, it's going to be like, oh, this is an outlier, obviously, because someone actually told me about what they were dealing with. Great. How was I like working with me? Great. What they're experiencing right now, that's going to trump anything that's out there that's some negative review. All right. Is there a threshold or tactic for tallying positive versus negative reviews? All right. The reality is you can never get too much positive. And what's going to happen is you're going to, at some point, you're going to get negative as well. You're going to be able to get some negative reviews sometimes, but you're going to be consistently getting positive reviews. And like you said, if I have reviews from 9 months ago, you guys are doing a good job. 3 months ago, you guys are doing a good job. 3 weeks ago, you guys are doing a good job. And 2 days ago, then I'm going to be able to say, you know what? These guys consistently do the right thing. I'm going to give them a call. All right. So you can never go too much on positive reviews. I mean, straight up, even with our clients people who left a review and they call back again and they say, hey, we're just checking in with people, not leaving a review. People oftentimes leave double reviews, which is absolutely great for your company. These guys are so good. People want to leave reviews again and again and again. So don't let that stop you as well. My voicemail is not working. Gotcha. Right. Makes sense. All right. Any other questions at all? Any other questions? I mean, they can be our reviews or whatever it may be. So I'm here to answer.
And drop any last questions. We will be wrapping up pretty soon. And so as you're leaving the questions, I will just plant the seed for the future webinars we're planning on doing. And so first off, I want to say thank you, Chris, for your time today. Very excited for this. And I hope everyone is able to take away something from this webinar, whether it was a script, whether it was a mindset shift, or whether it was the 4 stages of value. There's just a whole lot of stuff that went into today. And I appreciate you for being here. So just the future pace things for everyone. We have 2 webinars, two speakers that are planned. The first one, they focus on direct mail, and they'll be sharing some tactics on how to laser target homeowners in specific zip codes with a certain percentage of equity and different demographics and different offers. It's pretty amazing what they're doing. They have an entire platform. And so we'll be able to share that with you. And then number 2, was able to connect with a business broker, Murphy Business, and they actually acquire and sell HVAC businesses. And so they're going to come to the webinar and share with us their perspective on what they look for when acquiring a business. And so in the case that that's where you're at in your journey, or maybe you just want to make a different play in your life, they're going to be sharing a lot of those tactics on and what they look for and how they buy. And let me keep an eye if there's anything else.
And what I'll say is this: if this mindset stuff, if there's small tactics or something valuable to you, we have podcasts and all that good jazz too. I'm not going to push you to do any of that kind of stuff, but straight up, Contractor Growth Network, great podcasts, great opportunities for you to listen while you're on the road, because these tactics are so easy to implement, but so effective for your business. So if you have any questions at all, you can catch us there and check out that podcast, check out the YouTube, and we'll be there to give you guys some more opportunities as well.
Love it. Perfect. And I spun the wheel, and I think people will think it's rigged, but Ridja, you actually won. You won the $10 gift card. I'll share the screen real quick.
Yay!
Spin it again.
Sorry,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, we can spin it one more time. We'll give away 2. So give one to Ridja for her time in promoting the webinar. And then we got, awesome. Rabia, just make sure to send me your email after, and I will be sending you your Amazon gift card.
Perfect.
Cool.
Oh my God.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone who is on the Zoom. Thank you to everyone who is on the Facebook Live. Thank you if you're on the replay and you made it to the end. You know, I know that your time is very valuable, so I appreciate you for being here. Thank you again, Chris. Thank you, Ridja, for helping promote this webinar. And a thank you to everyone who is here. It's always just a pleasure to have everyone. So yeah, thanks so much. And you'll catch us on the next webinars.
All right, brother. Thanks so much for having me, man.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Bye-bye.